we're a vintage traveling marketplace, you know, kind of like a huge pop-up in a sense. It's over 70 plus of like the best vintage vendors from all over come. We set up in kind of like a trade showy type space like Brand Assembly does here in the 11th floor. We do New York, LA, and San Francisco. And it's open to the public. You buy a ticket, you can come shop, and it's an amazing experience. It's literally vintage heaven. If you're into vintage shopping, it's like you can go in there and go bonkers. You know, we've been around for, I'm hitting our 10-year mark actually, I think next year. So that's also, you know, really exciting. And yeah, vintage used to be kind of like a very small community of, you know, kind of like if you know type people. But I think it's become so mainstream now with, you know, everyone just, you know, wanting so hard to be, you know, kind of very different and, you know, things like that. So, you know, and we're in a different age where it's, you know, like influencer culture and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of really put it on the map because everyone wants to have that next best thing. And, you know, fashion is just a revolving door of, you know, things going out of style and coming back in. So, you know, everything that was cool in the 90s is now back in style. So I think that, you know, it's kind of really put vintage on the map for, you know, the millennials in that sense. My boss, Richard, you know, has been in vintage for over 20 years, and he started out as a seller, and so he was selling at those, you know, kind of farty shows, and he was like, I can do something that's way better than this, and that's what kind of launched the idea of a current affair, trying to make it young, make it fresh, make it more of, you know, just an experience, as opposed to, you know, mothballs and terrible lighting. So that's kind of how it came about. And then, you know, I think it just, you know, it caught on being that, you know,
okay, so what does that mean?
he made it something that was cool. And, you know, vintage was kind of, like I said, such a small community. It kind of opened the doors to, you know, way more opportunities. And then pairing with things like this with Brand Assembly, I think just furthers that because, you know, it's a sense of community. You know, we're all kind of in this fashion world together. And, you know, being able to, you know, engage with other small businesses and people that have, you know, smaller stores where you can kind of curate a little bit better, you know, as opposed to like, you know, big department stores and, you know, kind of more mainstream boutiques. These are more, you know, like smaller stores where, you know, they can, you know, pair their vintage t-shirt with their, you know, gown or, you know, whatever dress or, you know, whatever they're buying for their shop, say at Brand Assembly. So it kind of just, I think, bridges the gap between, you know, like the vintage world and, you know, the mainstream fashion world. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, you know, and that's really something that we've always been about, sustainability. You know, being that it is vintage and, you know, it's not buying new, you're, you know, just keeping it going. But I think just in the last few years, we've even just seen it with, you know, with our, you know, with the current affair with us is it's people want to do shop sustainable. So, you know, I think it's just only going to get bigger and better, you know. Hopefully, you know, with the way the world is going at this rate, I really hope that everyone gets on the bandwagon and, you know, takes sustainability seriously in all aspects. Also, what I love about vintage is everything's one of a kind. You know, you're not going to see someone in the same thing that you bought at, you know, Zara or H&M. It's going to be, you're going to have something unique, something amazing, and it's guilt-free. So, yeah.
Is there any